CMPRadio.net, it's the station. Listen, man, let's cultivate together. Bring us all your show ideas. Content creators, we're looking for that. Videographers, we're looking for that. You can be a part of the next great big thing that takes place right here in Chester, Pennsylvania. Let's cultivate together, man.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Mental Health Talk with yours truly. I am Christina McIntyre. I hope that y'all had the best week that y'all could. And let's stop worrying about what happened yesterday because it already happened. We only can control the now. So let's focus on that and prepare for our future. We are about halfway through the month of December and next year is coming. So let's start to think about some things that we want to do, that we need to do, that we desire to do, and what's preventing us from doing those things. Let's start to do more self-reflection instead of pointing the finger at everyone else. Sometimes we need to be pointing the finger at ourselves so that we can move forward in our life. Don't forget to visit my website, www.becomeyourc.com, where I talk about our mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual aspects of ourselves to help unveil our true identity. I updated my site that it has my chakra jewelry, my book on there as well. If you're interested to learning about a holistic approach to mental health or everyday living, you can always message me on Facebook, Christina McIntyre, or BYC Become Your C. Also follow me on Instagram at Become Your C, Facebook BYC Become Your C, YouTube BYC Become Your C. You can go to YouTube to stay up to date on all my latest podcasts. So if you're interested in learning more about different topics I have discussed, you can watch them there as well. I'm also on TikTok at Become Your C. Again, if you're interested in learning about the chakras, the energies in our bodies, holistic approach, to everyday living, I do make chakra bracelets and necklaces to help you. I also have keychains available as well, incense and incense holders. I also have a book out. It's called Become Your C, 21 Poems to Ignite Your Spiritual Journey. So if you're interested in something to read that will make you think outside of the box, you can message me as well. There is also a link on my Facebook page. It's available as an ebook or a paperback. So since we are in the winter months and you have noticed that it is getting dark earlier, there is not as much sunlight. So some of us tend to get more depressed and sad during the winter times. This is called seasonal affective disorder. So during these months, we must do something that will enhance our overall emotional state, which means exercise more, try to get as much sunlight as possible, do things that make us happy and bring us pleasure. That could be dancing, listen to music, drawing, writing, do whatever that can bring you that simplicity. We can't control the sunlight, we can't control the weather outside, but we can control those things in our life. So try to do something to do that. Also, exercise is really good. If you're ever tired, sleepy, do 25 jump jacks. That should increase your energy level. Also, try eating the best foods. I know holiday time, we tend to eat or gorge on a lot of things that we shouldn't, and we feel regret about it later. But try to do things that can enhance your mood. Also, if you're ever feeling sad or let down, you need someone to talk to. You're thinking about suicide. Let's not let that be the last resort or option. There are people that are willing to help you out there. You just need to take the first step and say, hey, I need help. The suicide hotline is 1-800-273-8255, or you can visit them on suicidepreventionlifeline.org. We need you here. You have purpose, you belong here, and you matter. So reach out. There are people that are willing to help. There are people just like you. If you're more private, they have virtual therapy now, and they also have Facebook groups and other groups available as well. That's how I started on my journey to reaching out towards until I was able to have the courage enough to go to therapy. So you don't have to share your pain alone. People are willing there to help and to listen as well. So the topic for this week: are there jobs or laws that protect people with mental health disorders? This is an interesting topic because 1 in 5 million people suffer from mental health disorders each year. Some things we can't control, right? We can't control that we have mental health disorders. What we can't control is to do something about it. That's therapy, whether it's medication, religion, holistic approach. That's up to us. But we still have to work. We still have to provide for ourselves, our family, our household. We have to have a car or a bus pass. There are things that we need to do in order to make sure that we have an everyday living. We have to work. And so if we must work, are there jobs or laws that protect us while we have our mental health issues? Because every day is not the same. And so we want to feel like we can navigate through the world. We can navigate through our workforce without judgment of our status, right? We tend to not tell people. I'm going to go a little bit into some of the laws and stuff. We tend not to tell people what's going on with us for fear of being labeled, right? So there is still a stigma about mental health disorders. Depending on your community, it's even worse. And so a lot of people hide behind they hide. They don't want people to know what they're going through because they want to get labeled as crazy or something wrong with them or you're weird. People have a lot of names, people that suffer from mental health disorders. We cannot control it, right? Mental health disorders it's biological, it's environmental, it's spiritual, it's emotional, it's chemical. And so when we have these, and it's also, hereditary. So we know we have these things and we're doing things to help it improve. But again, every day is not the same. So how can we feel like we're protected on those days that, maybe we're having a bad day this day? So are there laws? Yes, there is a law. There is laws that protect us from, excuse me, I can't get the words out. There are laws that protect us while we have our mental health disorders. So you can visit this website. I got information from there. It's EEOC.gov. It's the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. And this is where I got some information from. So depression, PTSD, other mental health conditions in the workplace, your legal rights. You have workplace privacy rights that help you get the accommodated help. Also, the American Disability Act can protect you as well. So the American Disability Act has been in existence since July 26, 1990, which really isn't that long ago. So it goes to show what did people do before this law became active. and how did they survive going to work every day knowing that they had these issues they had to deal with. You can also be protected by the FMLA, which is the Family Medical Leave Act, and certain medical insurances can protect you as well. So typically people see FMLA as when you have pregnant, you go out for leave and stuff, but they also cover a lot of other things as well. So if you're interested, you can do your research and see, especially if you're suffering from mental health disorders and you let your job know that and they are trying to fire you or cut your hours or do things to make you feel worse because you have it, it's laws to protect you. And make sure you know those laws so that you don't get taken advantage of. Because I think sometimes people think that we can't perform our job as well because we are suffering. In reality, a lot of people that have mental health disorders, they are very creative, they are very proactive, they're productive, they can get a lot of things done. So make sure you know that you are protected. You are allowed to keep your mental health status private. So you do not have to relinquish that information to your employer. They're only allowed to ask you medical questions. So make sure you know those laws. But also, if you don't relinquish your mental health status, they can't discriminate you. And so if they don't know that you're suffering and they fire you, you can't use that as grounds. Oh, shoot, I broke myself. You can't use that as grounds for them firing you. So in some circumstance, you may need to let your employer know that, hey, I'm dealing with this, and there is things that you can do to back that up. You want these laws protect. You can have reasonable accommodations to help you with your job. So this you have to disclose. If you want to work in a place and you want accommodations, you must disclose to your employer that you do have mental health issues or a mental health disorder. They can work with your schedule, especially if you have therapy. They can give you quiet spaces, especially if you're someone that suffered from anxiety. Like for a while, I didn't like being around people. It would make me more anxious. So in that circumstance, it would be beneficial for me to say, hey, look, I feel pressure. Maybe I can work less this week. Maybe I can work in this space so I don't have to deal with the public as much. So let people know that you have this, especially if you want to be protected, especially if you want to work. Also, ask for help from the HR service, ask for help from your doctor. Get everything in writing, right? Once you disclose your mental health status to your employer, make sure you have that in writing. So make sure you have a letter that you write to your employer. And also, if you are under therapy and your regular primary care doctor knows, make sure you have documentation as well so that you can back this up. So you make copies of that, give it to your employer so they know your status. And they can't legally fire you if they know already once they hire you. So if you do disclose your mental health status, an employer does not have to hire you. So it's kind of one of them double-edged sword situation. You have to know when to relinquish your mental health status and when not to. And if you feel like you've been have been violated, you can always conduct an investigation. And this is by calling the number for the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. Again, you can visit them, eeoc.gov. And you don't have to be harassed. A lot of times, people feel like if they let their employer know, hey, I'm having a mental health breakdown, they may make fun of you, they may harass you, they'll do jokes, they'll isolate you, they'll get other people involved as well. So you have to know yourself. You have to know when your buttons are being pushed and when your boundaries are being crossed. You have to advocate for yourself, because if you're suffering, you may be suffering in silence. No one else knows. And not every boss, but some bosses may take advantage of the situation. So make sure you let it be known. Make sure you know your rights and the law. The law is here to protect you. And you just have to do your research. You just have to know your status. But make sure you do that, because we can't control that we have these mental health disorders, but we need to know that we're protected, especially if we're in a workplace and when you're having a breakdown. And I'm going to tell a short story. I remember before I knew what panic and anxiety was, and I used to be at work, and I used to have these heart palpitations. I used to get these sweats, feel dizzy, your heart pounding. You feel like you're having a heart attack. And so I would call 911. I've been to the emergency room so many times, and no one knew what was going on with me. But I had to leave. And I didn't know what it was, so I kept it, hidden, but they kept happening. And so eventually I had to tell people, but this wasn't for years later. Like, I'm talking about my early 20s. So I didn't tell people until I was like late 20s, early 30s. So this is kind of recent. We shouldn't feel ashamed of what we're going through. We should let people know, especially so that they can help us. I made it an effort now to let people know, especially when I'm having a panic attack and I'm out in public. I'm like, hey, I'm going through this, or hey, I need to go eat. Sometimes my panic attacks, anxiety is triggered by not eating. And so I'm like, hey, I need to stop for a moment. I need a few moments. You have to let people know where you are. People can't help you if they don't know what's going on with you. And especially if you're at work and you're going through a momentary breakdown. Sometimes panic attacks only last for a few moments. But if you need to step away for a moment, like, hey, I need 5 minutes to myself, know that you have the right to do that. Your job has to give you time to get yourself together, especially if you have disclosed this information in the beginning when you were hired. There are jobs that are specifically for people with mental health issues that can help. Marketing, a lot of times marketing is based on a computer, especially if you suffer from social phobia, you can't be around a lot of people. So tend to be at home, or you in a small office space, that can help. Research jobs, accounting, again on the phone. If you have social phobia and you're at home working, you need to get paid, so you're going to get paid. But you don't have to deal with people. Eventually you'll have to deal with your boss and stuff, but you don't have to deal with people on a day-to-day basis. That's exhausting. I have worked at Wawa for 10 years. I used to work at TJ Maxx. I worked at Elwyn, Chick-fil-A. I worked at a couple jobs. And the public can be exhausting at times. And it's overwhelming. Like, I used to have panic and anxiety when I used to drive to work, a few jobs, and I knew that I'm like, this place is not a safe place for me. You got to know yourself, and you got to know your limits, but also don't allow your mental health status to prevent you from experiencing something that you want to do. Let's say you want to try to do a job, work at a job because you think it's desirable. Check yourself, get the therapy you need, and then push yourself a little bit. But also, don't let these jobs take advantage of you, and don't let yourself take advantage of you. Do something that you enjoy doing, but also know your limits. And I think that's important when you do suffer from these disorders, to know your limits. Like the last few weeks, I have been pushing myself to do more and more and more. And I have been noticing I'm getting burned out. I'm getting exhausted and overwhelmed. And I had a conversation with myself this morning saying that I don't have to rush. I have nothing to prove. I need to do something that brings me happiness. And so I need to take the time for that. I need to let people know, hey, this is where I'm at mentally. No, I can't go out today. I actually love the job that I work at now because it's not on my own schedule, but it kind of is. So I know myself. I know what I can do. I know what I can push myself towards. But I also don't allow myself to take advantage of myself, if that makes sense. Because I think a lot of times we can get having a breakdown confused with being a little lazy, because sometimes we can be lazy. So know yourself in that matter, but also know your capabilities as well. Just because we have mental health disorder doesn't mean that we can't advance ourselves, that we can't acquire it more. You just got to put yourself in the right environment, the right space. If you need to work alone, work alone. There's nothing wrong with that. I work well in small groups. So if you're a person that works well in small groups or large groups, you find whatever makes you feel comfortable, because most likely this may be the job that you're at for the rest of your life. So you want to work somewhere that can provide like an encouraging environment, supportive environment, one that's thriving, where you can grow, that you can enhance yourself. A lot of jobs out there, we just limit ourselves sometimes, and I think sometimes we are afraid to step out of the box. Maybe a job that we're at, we are comfortable in it because it pays very well, but it's not good for our mental health. So we stay there, but knowing that we are suffering, and it's this job over here that's perfect, that's something that is desirable for you. You want to do this, but maybe it pays like $40,000 less a year. So you're thinking about that. Like, what is more important, your mental health? Not saying money's not important, because you need money to survive, but you got to look at things in the long run, right? Maybe taking that step towards that job that pays less will increase your abilities, right? Now you can thrive more. Now you can create more. Now more doors are open for you, so that you have more opportunities for yourself. So think about that. Also, being an architect, bank teller, you do have to interact with the public a little bit. So if you're a person that's afraid of people, that may not be legal jobs, engineer jobs, scientists, architect, and also counseling. So when you suffer from mental health disorders, it's good to help others as well. I know for me, I am most creative when I'm doing something. Like this week has been rough mentally for me. So this morning I had time. I got up before my alarm clock, and I said to myself, if I look at this clock and it's 6 something, I'm going to get myself up and I'm going to start prepping my food for the week. I started meal prepping a couple weeks ago to try to, one, get myself back on track with healthy eating, and I needed to lose some weight. But also, I found peace in what I was doing, preparing. I made homemade I'm trying to be a vegetarian again. Made homemade veggie burgers, and I prepped some fruits and vegetables that last for the week. This afternoon, I'm going to make homemade stuff. I also made homemade cranberry juice. So doing that, the preparation, it actually relaxed me. So you got to find stuff that relax you. And then I had all the stuff that I said I'm going to do today, but I have off tomorrow, so I can push it onto tomorrow. So know your limits and know yourself. Do things that bring you peace. So creating may be an area where you need to look into. Maybe you need to find a job that can enhance the abilities that you have. Cooking, becoming a chef. Sometimes it does take going through a couple crappy jobs before you find one that actually works out for you. But you'll never know what you're great at if you don't experience some of these things. A lot of times we prevent ourselves from having the experiences and knowing where our limits are because we don't push ourselves. And I know when you suffer, it's hard to push yourself to the next limit. Like, you get afraid, like our mental health disorders keep us locked in a box. It keeps us isolated. It causes fear. But if you want to go somewhere, you have to learn how to push past the fear. And this is everyday consistency, doing things that will bring you closer and closer to the goals that you want for yourself in your life. Life is limited here on earth, and so we must do things that bring us joy. We must experience things every day, and we need to learn ourselves and know where we're at. And that's why this topic is important, because we have to work. That's how we want to live, right? That's what's going to pay for everything we need to get done. Also, being an entrepreneur is good if you have mental health disorders. And I laugh at this, and I'm like, that's important because, one, you don't have to work with people in the beginning. If you're an entrepreneur, you can create yourself. So that's good on that aspect, but it also gives you time to do something that you enjoy doing. But this is also a process. It's going to require hard work and dedication. Anything that is fruitful requires your consistency. Therapy requires your consistency. Being dedicated to a religion or a group requires consistency. Even this holistic approach that I do, it requires my consistency. When I slack off, it slacks off. It goes away. So anything that we want and need and desire requires us to make a commitment to it. So you got to ask yourself, are you willing to make a commitment to yourself and choose things that is going to bring peace in your circle? So how do we navigate through the world with our mental health disorders? We just do. We pick ourselves up. We know who we are. We know our abilities. We know our limits, right? And that's something else I was saying to myself as I was driving. I gotta know my limit. I gotta know, hey, this is enough for me. I can't do no more this day. Or know your place. Like a lot of times we push ourselves past our limits because we're trying to prove something to someone else, that we are worthy of it, we're capable of it. We don't have to prove anything to anyone, right? They're not trying to prove stuff to us, and most of the time we're proving these things to the wrong people. They could care less about us. A lot of times people just want you to brush on their ego, and you don't have to do that. The only person that you should be focused on is yourself. When you heal, when you can grow, when you feel safe, that's how you thrive. So we have to get you in order first, and that is through therapy and through healing and through working with yourself each and every day, finding things that work for you. Tell people to do mantras. Mantras every day is good. Find a sentence that you say to yourself every day that gets you through that day. Even in the worst days, you keep saying that to yourself. Because, when we have mental health disorders, even if you don't, every day is not going to be the same. So some days you need a little bit more pep talk, right? You need to talk to yourself more, but push through that day. Whatever you can give in that day, give it the best. It may be at a 40%, but if that is all you can give that day, be proud of yourself for that day. My mantra is, I only can control what I can control. If I can't control it, I can't worry about it. And that has helped me the last couple of months, because a lot of times I focus on things that are beyond my reach, things that I can't control. I always believe in manifestation. I believe that God will put you in the right place at the right time, right people. He will remove things that are not supposed to be there. So you don't have to worry about a thing. As long as you moving forward and doing what you're supposed to do and everything with good intentions, everything will work out in your favor. You just have to be patient and be humble and keep moving forward. Never stop going towards the goals that you want, even when you do suffer from mental health issues. Yes, depression is real, anxiety is real, PTSD is real, schizophrenic, bipolar, whatever you suffer from. But you don't have to let that be your detriment. You can rise above that. It's just something that we have. Just like if you have heartburn or asthma, it's just a status. It doesn't define who we are. And so don't let the workplace define who you are as well. Don't let that label diminish your ability to thrive and to grow and to be the best worker and productive person that you are. So that is basically it. If you want to learn more, again, that website is EEOC.gov. It is the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. So if you want to know your rights as a person that has mental health disorder, please go visit them. Learn your rights so that you feel protected. So if you're ever in a situation in the workplace that you feel like you are getting taken advantage of, they're not accommodating you and they're supposed to, remember that you are protected, but you also have to relinquish that information as well at the beginning of your job. Don't feel ashamed. There are a lot of opportunities. I listed some that are available to you to do. If one job turns you down, there are so many others. Don't limit yourself because someone else can't accept the fact that you have this disorder, because there may be something wrong with them, or maybe they're afraid that you may outshine them. A lot of times people don't understand. They put these labels on people with mental health disorders because, hey, maybe they're afraid they'll do better than them and then outshine them. So That is it for today. Thank everyone for tuning in. Watch me each and every Sunday at 12 p.m. here on cmpradio.net. Don't forget to visit my website, www.becomeyourc.com. Also, follow me on Instagram at Become Your C, Facebook BYC Become Your C, and on YouTube BYC Become Your C, and TikTok at Become Your C. Remember, we are not a label. Remember that you can do whatever you want in this life because you are here, you have purpose, you have gifts to be shared. Don't limit yourself because someone else wants to limit you. Fall in love with yourself so the world can fall in love with you. Till next time.